Jeff McGinnis as we start off the evening. He was the assignment manager at the Toledo City paper, and he was one of our nominees this evening as well, and was a former winner. Unfortunately, we lost him 1 week ago, and we wanted to take a minute to tell you a little bit about him. A lover of the arts and theater, a writer for several years. Many of you might have been introduced to him as well on 92.5 KISS FM when he used to do several years worth of radio there as well. I've known Jeff myself, my wife has as well, for many years, and while we take a minute to honor him tonight, I think he would also want us to enjoy ourselves. He would want to offer up those big hugs that he was always so famous for and enjoy a great evening to celebrate so many great things and some great journalism. So wanted to take a moment of time tonight to honor him as we get started this evening. And like I said, he'd want us to have a good time tonight, and that's what we're going to do. So let's start off with a warning. You have champagne on your table. Hold off on it for a minute, okay? And if you've had a sip already, that's okay. Because tonight we are celebrating the 50th year for the Press Club of Toledo, an organization that is really rich in history and helped training for different journalism professionals and public relations professionals throughout the years. We've always tried to be a resource for journalism and those public relations professionals. And what we do this evening every year is we recognize excellence in our community and also encouraging the next generation through scholarships, which we'll be talking about in a little bit. And you'll see some of our students here in the crowd this evening, and they're really a major part of why we do what we do. We'll be offering scholarships this evening to a student from Bowling Green State University and to the University of Toledo as well. If you're not familiar with the Press Club itself, let me go through some of the mission that we have here at the club. It's to provide the community with an understanding of the role of local media, how they play in everyone's lives. We want to educate, develop, and connect professionals to each other and the community at large. And we want to support and recognize the impact of journalism and communication strategies throughout our region. And we'd like to believe that we've done that for the last 50 years, and we hope to continue that for 50 more years going strong. And what is great is the events that we do month in and month out. This is really our signature right here, where we get all of you together and honor great journalism and great public relations professionals and great students as well throughout the evening. And we've been doing this since 1999. We have a lot of great winners, and tonight we're going to add some great ones as well. We can't do any of this without some great sponsors that are helping us along the way to put this organization on this evening, and I have them up there listed, but I wanted to make sure we give them the proper recognition this evening. We want to thank Buckeye Broadband, Chris Peterson Consulting, Communique, WTOL 11, the Imagination Station, BCSN, BCAN, and SSOE. I'd like to also thank the Toledo City paper for their help with the programs that are with you this evening, and also we have our students from Penta Career Center who are helping us with some of the audio visual this evening, and the Buckeye team, they're doing that as well. And there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to putting on an event like this, and a lot of those moving parts are done by the board members here at the Press Club of Toledo. I wanted to make sure we gave a special mention to them as well. Some of our board members are Candace Harrison from SSOE. She is our board president this year. She has her own. Wow, you got it. We weren't going to clap for all of them, Candace, so congratulations. You can't get up yet, though. It's not your turn yet. Kim Sidwell is also on the board. We don't have to clap for everybody right away, Kim. Sorry. Toy Creel from NBC 24, Marcus Harrison for BCSN, Jessica Hover from Communique, Sean Hegarty, this guy, Barb Hendel from The Blade, Stephanie Elton from Blue Water Communications, Chris Peterson. I had to write down where Chris Peterson was from, right? It's called Chris Peterson Consulting, so she's the boss, so that was a pretty easy one. Lauren Wepler from WTOL, Charlie Welch from WJUC, Aaron Marsh, Megan Cunningham from the University of Toledo, and Matt Schroeder, and our Executive Director, Kathy Jack. So let's give that group a round of applause. Now we're going to welcome Candace to the stage after her applause, but as I welcome her up here, I wanted to let everybody know we have a couple of accolades from some of our officials here in the community. So I won't read the whole thing, but from the City of Toledo, a proclamation honoring the Press Club on its 50th anniversary, as well as a proclamation from Lucas County Commissioners honoring the club on our 50th anniversary. So we thank both of those organizations for that. And at this time, I'll turn you over to our board president, Candace Harrison.
Thank you, everyone. And good evening again. Welcome to the 50th anniversary celebration of the Press Club of Toledo and our Touchstone Awards. I am honored to serve as your current president of the Press Club. And I know that Sean recognized all of our board, but many of you may know some of them, but may not know all of them. So I would be remiss if I did not ask them to stand and be recognized. So board, please stand and be recognized so everyone knows who put in the hard work to put together events such as this one. Events, scholarships, a lot of work goes into things like this behind the scenes. It's not always pretty, but at the end, you get a beautiful event, and it's through the hard work, the hands, and the time and talents of the people that are seated beside you. So I just wanted to make sure that I recognize them. So, in 50 years, can you imagine, we have had 45 presidents, including myself, many of which are here tonight. If you are a president, could you just raise your hand and also be recognized? Thank you very much for your service. So I love history. People may not know that about me, but I do. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of what I was able to find. And I also learned the importance of fact-checking in media, because I almost got up here and told y'all a lie. But because I was able to show somebody, I was trying to be like social and show her, hey, I'm going to be mentioning you. She was like, oh, thanks, but I wasn't the first, so you need to fix that. So in 1972, is when we were founded, and our first president was a man by the name of Bill Day, or William Day, who actually served. He was a club founder, and he also served in various capacities, including he was a member of the faculty at UT, where he taught editing, reporting, and most importantly, ethics. But he also worked for the Toledo Blade. Now, 1972, sorry about that, is when we were founded, but in 1981 is when we had our first female president by the name of Pat Green. And that's almost where I made a mistake, because I was told that our first president, who was actually our second president, was not until 1996 when we had Mary Beth McLaughlin, who worked for the Toledo Blade, and she actually was my former colleague at Toledo Public Schools, who was the 20th president and became the second female. So you'll be honored or happy to know that you are a part of a legacy that once we kind of got a little bit more progressive in the way that we operate, and after the 25 presidents after Mary Beth, 9 of those were also women. And this year, yes, indeed, and we made history in 2022 when and I'm honored to say, became the first Black president of the club. So we have a lot to be proud of and a lot to celebrate. Our leadership, believe it or not, has included the newsmakers and the newsbreakers. We've had reporters, writers, editors, PR pros, marketers, and we even had a school superintendent serve as the president of our club. That was Hugh Cole Martin, who actually was a superintendent when I was in the 3rd grade. And so we've had lots of different people from lots of different industries, but all of which are committed to maintaining the value and ethics in local journalism. So each year, the Touchstones provides an opportunity for the Press Club to recognize local journalists for their hard work and community leaders who make an impact. So we are honored to celebrate this tradition again for the first time in person since 2019 with you. We have a wonderful program planned this evening that we hope you will enjoy. And again, thank you for joining us tonight, and congratulations to the Press Club for 50 years of promoting ethical journalism and community leadership in Northwest Ohio. Thank you. And now we are going to present a video to you and then move forward with our program.
Let's see. During the year, including Governor Gilligan, U.S. Senator Bob Taft, and Howard Netzenbaum, former astronaut John Glenn, Big Ten Commissioner Wayne Duke, Bo Schembechler, your Ohio State fans know who he is in parentheses. So these are some of the people that came into the club during that first year. And I mean, it was just unbelievable. We had over 700 members. It was just phenomenal. You had judges, you had TV, you had radio, you had the blades, you had judges, attorneys, bankers, all the Fortune 500 companies. It was a place where you would go down there, and if you wanted to talk to anybody, meet anybody, they would be there on a regular basis.
And of course, right now, when we're standing here in the Valentine, this was the original landmark of the press club. And that was, of course, 50 years ago. And there were many good times then, and it was a see and be seen type of thing. If you got invited to the press club to go for lunch or for after work, that was a big deal, and you never said no, because you'd see all kinds of people there that you wouldn't meet otherwise.
We hear about the old days when the press club was the place to be, you know, and I think with a lot of the newer members and just the new energy, we get a chance to rethink this thing and to kind of reinvent, you know, or repave the road of where we're headed.
So one thing that I really enjoyed observing as being part of Press Club is seeing the veterans in our field connecting with those who are new to journalism, who are starting their careers, and sharing those lessons and that feedback, because we all learn from each other. So that's been really exciting to see happen at our board meetings and at our events that we have.
When I first got here, just didn't quite know what I was doing, especially in this town. Especially it helps to learn people in this town, know some faces. You can email them, you can text them all day long, but to get a little FaceTime with them and try to put a face with that text message or that email conversation goes a long way. I think that's been one of the biggest advantages I've found.
Our community is so rich in leadership, and to see all of their accomplishments on paper, it's a daunting task, but it's so rewarding when they walk that stage.
I really feel like the biggest way to sow into the next generation of leaders of any kind is financial. So being able to provide a scholarship for students who want to pursue a career in journalism is, to me, the best foot you could put forward when you put your money where your mouth is.
Sometimes I find that other awards maybe don't value our work as much as other people's, but I'll take the work in this town next to anybody every day of the week. So it's nice for us to sit around for a little bit and look at our work, look at our people, and celebrate the things that they've done. Because I know it's good. I think the public knows that it's good. And it's nice that we can all get a room and at least take one day to celebrate. And then tomorrow we'll go back at each other's throats. But for tonight, we'll all be friends.
You know, it is very exciting when you get that national story about you, regional coverage, but there's just something about stories on the local level. It has such an impact not only on you, but also your peers, your friends, your family, and your community.
The Press Club's an asset. It's an asset to journalists. It's an asset to the professional community that aren't journalists, because we need that reporting. We need that responsibility. We need the leadership of journalism to really tout our town and tout our area. And I think it lies in many of our members.
The press is important. You know, when you think about us as humans, we consume a lot of media daily. So to be a part of an organization that continues to push that envelope and nourish, people like us that create content, I think it's important.
What I hope everyone will see for the future of the club is that journalism will never stop being important, period. It may take on different forms. You know, we have more of a 24-hour media cycle, but the news, whether it's online, if it's in print or what have you, we will always need someone who is ethical, somebody that is a non-biased, middle of the road presenter of the news. We will always need that. And so we want everyone in the room to know that this is important, and that's why we're here, to make sure that we can continue this on for another 50 years.
Thank you for the crew at WTOL for helping us put that together. So now you may grab your glass of champagne. So let's have a toast to an amazing evening and to 50 years of the Toledo Press Club. Cheers. And if you're old enough, you can drink it. I'm looking at you, UT and Bowling Green tables. I see somebody with their glass up. I don't know. Larry, you're going to have to take care of that. Okay, so we're going to get into our journalism awards. I feel like there's something we forgot to do. Let's call up Mike Hart for a second here. He's got a couple words for us as we get the evening going. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Hart.
Thanks, Sean. Hi, everybody. I was blessed with growing up with Tom Hart as my dad. He adored the press club. I have a picture of my dad. Actually, Larry gave me this picture tonight of me in 1989 at the press club. Thank you. I actually have a picture of my dad at the original press club with Bill Day, Bernie Judy, Al Hawkins making chili that someone found, believe it or not, in a garage sale years ago and sent it my way. Larry Boyer told me he had the same one. My dad dragged me along to the press club when I was a kid, and I wasn't old enough to drink. I drank anyway. My memories of the press club may not be quite 50 years old, but they're close. It was a place to be, as I talked to some of you tonight. My dad used to say, whatever calls he didn't return before lunch, he could do at the press club because everybody was there. He and I are blessed to be the only father and son, I think, in history to receive the Norm Cartwright Award. I miss him every day, and I miss the old press club, as I'm sure many of you do. The broadcaster sandwich, which our friends next door, Giorgio's, recreated tonight, was part of our Irish heritage at home. My mom made it regularly. It's a classic low-carb test. Listen to this one. Butter on 2 slices of rye bread. Place butter side down on grill or skillet. Place 1 piece of American cheese on each side of the bread. Put 1 tablespoon of chopped green olives in the center, 1 slice of cheese and 1 tablespoon of chopped onion on the other slice of the cheese. Put your burger in a griller. And when the cheese slices begin to soften, put the hamburger patty on until it's done. The heat of the meat will finish the melting of the cheese. Heart attack waiting to happen. Thank you, Press Club. Well, there's somebody here tonight who has a history of this club since the beginning. There's a few people, but the group's getting smaller. 50 years of history of this place is special. The people left from the old club are few and far between. Rumors have it this guy still has history in a plastic bag that he keeps in his house. Original press club napkins, matches, and even a key, excuse me, from the Willard Hotel for some old getaways after a few drinks at the club. I have some details, but it's a little bit of a family night. One of my favorite stories I heard about this gentleman was we brought Loretta Swit of MASH fame to surprise, I heard of MASH fame to surprise Jamie Farr for one of the early ladies golf tournaments. He volunteered to pick her up at the Toledo airport. I'm told he hit on Hot Lips on his way to the Beirut to surprise Jamie Farr. I don't know if the famous key that he still has at the Willard Hotel came into play that night or not. In his early days, he worked for Kroger's. In early 1972, he became VP and General Motors of the former Willard Hotel, and the press club started, pardon me again, in the basement right here. Now the Valentine Theater where we're standing this evening. Pretty amazing. Our special honoree, and we were talking about this in the lobby just a few minutes ago, met many famous business leaders in those press club days before moving into his banking career. He doesn't share this, but I will. The timing of that career was a blessing because he went on to work for People's Savings, and obviously now Waterford Bank, and many bars in Toledo. And with his leadership, he literally saved the press club. I don't know I've ever gone into a bar where this guy doesn't have a beer in his hand and a crowd of people around him that don't call him friend. He's truly a friend to Toledo and to the Press Club, and very deserving of our recognition of 50 years. A first-class guy, and my friend, Larry Boyer. Come on up, Larry.
Can't believe where 50 years has been for me. I would not be here today without the Press Club. He mentioned Bill Day, Bernard Judy, Joe O'Connor, Norm Cartwright, Dick Mueller, John Block. You name them, I've been there since day one. I came in, I was working at Kroger's, and Terry Gallagher, I met with the Blade and Terry in 1971 at the end of the year. He needed to buy the hotel. By the way, the theater is a building within the hotel. And I do have a key. I have a master key. Right there. And Terry asked me to come in and manage as general manager of the hotel. We had Channel 30 going to go up on the top floor, the Press Club of Toledo, down in the basement. In the Valentine Theater, I would manage all of that as a general manager. I didn't know anything about hotels or food service. In the broadcaster sandwich, we turned out, back in the day, 60 to 70 sandwiches a day. And my first day on the job, I was down there in the kitchen because we didn't have enough help to make them. And so I taught Chris, are you here, Cavalaris from Giorgio's? I taught him 2 weeks ago. I didn't know that he was going to serve them here, how to make them. He did all right. The only one person said they weren't good. It was a guy by the name of Francis Mac McCarthy. He said they weren't good. Well, he's older than me, and he was never allowed in the Press Club, so we don't take his word for anything. Hi, Mac. Oh, but it's really, I could go on about the history. The theater, I was the last manager of the theater, and I wish we were in the main area because I used to sneak in. When I started at the Willard Hotel as general manager, it's been 50 years in the Press Club, so I think I was 8 years old as a general manager. Caitlin from one of the wait staff said, "Larry, you can't have worked here 50 years ago." And I said, "How old do you think I am?" She said, 60. I said, "Whatever you need is on me." But I tell you what I learned back then, and we had 750 members the first year. And I was blessed to be one of the charter members, and I'm still a member. Just got off the board last year. I figured 50 years was enough. But I learned I would not be where I am. The bankers, the business people there that took me under the wings, I didn't know anybody, anything, and when I went in there the first day, these people would just say, "Larry, come on, we're going to show you around." I'm just, the Press Club is the best, and I would tell people today, the kids from the schools, get involved. get to know the people. That's where I made my mark, and I would not be here today. Thank you. By the way, I used to know, I thought he was Howdy Doody.
Oh my God. There's kids in the room that don't know what howdy doody even is, Larry. Jeez, oh man. Okay, now we're going to get into the Journalism Awards and the Community Awards. And I want to let everybody know, if you want, on social media today, you can use the hashtag Touchstones22, and we can share our photos with everybody this evening as we welcome Candace up to the stage. Did you like that reveal, Candace? That was impressive. Larry, was that okay 50 years later? Okay, so we want to start with our Lifetime Achievement Award, and that is going to be recognizing long-term efforts to enhance the quality of life here in Northwest Ohio. And this year's winner is Mary Federke from the United Way of Greater Toledo, currently the VP of Resource Development at the United Way. Many of you know her from her time at the Toledo Zoo. And I went back, and so many different things that she's done over the years, and so many of us know her so well. Now, I went back to an old City Paper article that I found about you, and I love this quote, and I want to read it today. So it talks about you describing your job eloquently, the paper says here. It's about somebody connecting all of the wonderful things we have in this community in order to make things happen. It's about getting together and working with other nonprofits to provide services for our entire community. So it's pretty clear she tries to connect people and connect organizations, and we are so thankful and so lucky to have you in our community. Ladies and gentlemen, our Lifetime Achievement Award tonight goes to Mary Federke. And all of our winners get the opportunity to come up and say a few words, Mary. So you can start off if you'd like to this evening.
Well, I have to start.
All right, okay, rookie. Right there.
Thank you. Yes. And I have to start right out by saying, oh my goodness, the things that I wanted to tell you tonight were just said for me. But you can tell that I have been very true to my path, because the things that really matter to me, that have mattered to me all along, are the same. So as Sean was reading that quote, and I don't even know how long ago that was, that's what I wanted to say to all of you tonight. I really feel like my commitment is to this community. And I think maybe one of the things that I bring to this is that ability to connect the people who are donors, who are advocates, who are volunteers, our corporate partners, our nonprofit organizations that need to be working together, and our elected officials. When you can bring all those people together and you can talk collaboratively about how we can provide better access to the social services and how we can do more with our natural resources, preserve those natural resources for the next generation. That's where I really want to be. And I have to say, I loved every job I've done. My very first job was as a social worker for Lucas County Children's Services Board, and my last full-time job was at the Toledo Zoo, doing the Director of Development and President of the Foundation work. I retired from that, and I said, I'm going to do one more thing, just part-time, but something that really matters. And I chose to go to United Way because I am so impressed with what United Way can do for this community. And this is absolutely the best time ever for collaborations. I think when you look around what's happening throughout the city, you're seeing the Metro Parks of Toledo developing a park in downtown Toledo, and really doing some good educational work around conservation. You see the museum, and their whole focus is on making sure that everyone in our community feels they belong there. And then you do see the collaborations. Through United Way, I am seeing so many nonprofit organizations working together to set some shared goals, to use shared metrics so that we really can see holistic, sustainable outcomes. What a thrill. What an absolute thrill. And I have to say thank you to all of you, because it really is this community that makes these things possible. So all of you deserve credit for what an amazing place we are living in today. Thank you.
Mary, thank you. We have two winners of our Contributor Award this evening. This honor will recognize outstanding contributions to the community. Specifically, people who have made a significant impact on the quality of life in the greater Northwest Ohio region over the past year. We're going to start with one of our winners, Will Lucas, this evening, an entrepreneur, content creator, the founder and CEO of Creatio, a marketing technology and production agency, Toll House, a private social club right here in his hometown, brand manager for Afrotech and Black Tech, Green Money. This thing just goes on, Will. You just tell me when to stop here. But I've got to tell you, in just speaking with people throughout the community, if you've not experienced Toll House or you're not too familiar of it, could really become an anchor of a part of town that is really coming back and really will have a thriving future here. So our first winner of our Contributor Award this evening, Will Lucas.
Thank you. So I've learned as a leader, when things go well, you deflect all the credit to the people, the team, because you couldn't do it without the team. And when things go bad, you take all the credit, right? And so because this is a good thing, I want to talk about a couple of people in this room, a couple of guys who have inspired me along this journey. There's three specifically that I want to just mention just very briefly. The first is Tom Brady, because there's no greater entrepreneur and innovator that I can name alive today who took a chance on himself and built a company that is a global company today out of his skill and his partnership with his wife. And so, Tom Brady, you mean the world to me. I don't know if you know that, but I honor you for the inspiration that you are to a guy like me. The second, y'all can clap for him, because what he did. The second is Musa. I probably don't have a more favorite person in this town than Musa from Souk. I mean, to excel in your craft the way that he does and to continue to build restaurants that are the best in town. Souk is my favorite restaurant. My wife and I date there, if not weekly, then bi-weekly. Just being so good at what he does and to be able to create opportunities for other people and to be able to create a greater quality of life for this town, you know, I honor you, my friend. And then lastly, and this is Patrick Kenny. You know, Patrick is a guy who I have the honor of sitting next to on the UT Board of Trustees, but Patrick is, I'm going to embarrass him. So Patrick is a guy I've known for, 5, 6, 7 years, I don't know. But I met Patrick because I was starting a startup and somebody said, you got to meet this guy, Patrick Kenny, because he'll tell you what it's worth, So Patrick, I met him at Starbucks at Westgate, 10 years ago. But he's become a friend, and for a guy like that, if you know Patrick and what he does professionally, I'm not going to get into all that, but the level of success he's achieved, and then to take, I don't want to call it a pivot because he's still doing that, but then to take that childhood dream he's had of being on TV and being on the silver screen. I'm going to embarrass you, so you probably don't talk about this often, but this guy is in New York doing commercials and movies and TV shows. And that is so inspiring to me, because he could be doing anything. He could be resting with his feet up and drinking really great wine, which he probably does that too. But I appreciate guys who, and gals, there are ladies also, but those three people I wanted to mention specifically because, you know, being an entrepreneur is not the easiest road. People want to say, you know, I'm going to quit my job and start my own thing and it'll be so much better, but you really ain't better. Like, you should really stick to your job. But you decide to quit 40 hours a week to go work 80 and 90 hours a week. You could probably hear my voice right now because I'm really tired. But you know, I have a couple of businesses, and when I think about my WWPW, what would Patrick do? Or my WWMW, what would Musa do? Or my WWTW, what would Tom do? Those are the guys who keep me inspired to, you know, continue to make this city a place that young people want to live. And so I honor you, gentlemen.
Oh, this thing fell. Look at that. So, Candace, this was the point where I was supposed to introduce Musa, right? You kind of already did it, didn't he? You know Musa's restaurants. Probably 100% of us have been fed at one point by Musa. His most recent restaurant, Souk Mediterranean, has been open since October of 2019. I was looking at part of your website and talking about your inspiration. You say that your inspiration comes from your heart and your culture, but comes from a lot of hard work and education in the kitchen. And what is also amazing is that when Musa is asked to help in the community, and I'm sure some of the organizations have asked him for help, you always hear yes, right? It's yes over and over again. And, Musa, you're one of the very few people in this town that could just go by one name, right? It's Musa and Elvis, right? I mean, we have to say Will Lucas. We have to say both of his names, So this evening, we very proudly offer our second contributor award tonight to Musa Saluk.
Thank you very much. Was not expecting this. This last venture opened October 1st of 19, and then went into COVID. So was always taught back to give back to the community, and that's just what I do, not because I have to, because I want to. And the community of Toledo got not only myself, but a lot of chefs, restaurateurs, small businesses through a really, really hard time. So I will continue to give. It's just the way I was brought up. So we have a great community. We have great leadership. We have great entrepreneurs, Will and everybody else, I'm sure, in this room. Being an entrepreneur is kind of a lonely life, because you're either like Will said, it's your team makes you what you are, but you go home at night and you stare at the TV after a long day of, sometimes it's gut-wrenching, drama in the kitchen, drama in the restaurant, and I think what I do need to do is thank my fiancée Kara for putting up with a lot of the hours, hours where she's without me, and then coming home and just watching me stare at a TV and asking me questions, and I'm like, what did you say? So it's a love-hate sometimes, but it's a passion that burns in me, and it'll continue to burn in me. And you have some winners, you have some losers, you just keep on going. And I'd like to thank everybody here, because the community is what keeps us all going, and our teams also. So thank you very much, and I appreciate this. This could go to 1 million people in the community, so I appreciate this. Thanks.
So we will wrap up our community awards this evening with the Norm Cartwright Award. And this is a special award because we don't award it every year. This award honors outstanding efforts to promote the Press Club's principles. And our winner this evening is, in my opinion, pretty much a no-brainer. Kurt Frank, Vice President of Newspaper Operations for Block Communications, and probably a million other titles. He's worked since at the Blade since 2000 and managing editor of the newspaper. He's been at places like Atlanta, Birmingham, Orlando, and Florida. But what I believe makes him special about this award is when it comes to the Press Club, and this coming from one president, from another, to all the other presidents in the room, whenever the Press Club needed anything, and you asked it of Kurt Frank, it always happened. Whatever the club has needed, absolutely. Which includes tonight. So it just, you know, as much as we've relied on Larry in the past and so many of other presidents like Mike, it's just been when we've needed it, Kurt has been there. So tonight, just a little bit of our appreciation, our Norm Cartwright winner for the Press Club of Toledo, Kurt Frank.
Well, Sean, you really know how to bring the house down with me, because I am truly humbled and honored. When he called me a couple weeks ago and told me about this award, I was in the hospital and under some medication that made me very cranky, but at the same time emotional. And when I got the voicemail, I burst into tears. So thank you very much. This is truly an honor. And for those that want to know who Norm Cartwright is, he is a longtime founder of the Press Club. Larry mentioned him, but he also believed in the principles that we as journalists believe in. Strong principles that I'll share a couple of them with you. Honesty, truthfulness, integrity, and much, much more. And I was taught this more than 40 years ago when I got into this business. And we need this integrity. We need to be truthful now more than ever. With what's going on in our world, we need to let people know, give them the facts, and explain what's going on. Now, I was taught by a editor many years ago that part of our job as a journalist is to pretend you have a giant, and people at my newspaper have heard me say this 100 times, so I apologize for those who are going to hear it again, but pretend you have a giant mirror and you're reflecting what's going on in your community. And we hope we as journalists do that every day. But sometimes that mirror gets distorted. And it's what our job as journalists is to go find out, why is it distorted? What kind of corruption? What kind of wrongdoing? And I know deep down inside that somebody like Norm would want us to do that in our pursuit of truth and telling people stories and being honest. And again, integrity is important. So I am so blessed to be given this honor tonight, and I'm overjoyed that the Blade is the sponsor for the champagne tonight. So please drink up on us. Again, thank you very much. I'm honored.
I don't know if you know it, Kurt, but I believe you sprung for a cake as well. So as we wrap up the evening, there will be a Press Club birthday cake in there. So thanks for the cake, Kurt. Appreciate that as well. So now let's get into those journalism awards. And it's one of the main reasons we're here, and we have so many great journalists in town. And we want to thank our judging organization, journalists and media professionals from San Diego, who went through these award nominations and these winners today. So we thank them for their help. So we are going to begin in the print daily hard news category. This piece was looking at issues of affordable housing in Toledo, the subject coming to the forefront after proposals to build new housing complex in the city of Toledo were met with opposition. Our judges said about this piece, the underserved in every community needs a voice, and this writer gives that to them and hopefully will force a change. If our winners are here tonight, we're going to invite them up to the stage as well and say a few words. In the Print Daily Hard News category, our winner is Luke Ramseth from the Toledo Blade. Now, you all know that's not Luke. We all know who this is, right? Hello, Miss Kim. Okay, we're going to go now to the Print Daily feature category. And in this winner here, the piece was about Pope Francis, calling for restrictions on the continued use of Latin Mass in July of 2021. And Toledo Catholics was sharing their relief that it would continue at the St. Joseph Parish and reflecting on the significance of that within their faith community. Our judges said a fascinating look at something that many readers probably thought was long gone. Our winner of the Touchstone in the Print Daily feature category from the Toledo Blade, Nikki Gorney. Kim must be working them hard tonight. Look at that. So we say congratulations to Nikki on her win. Okay, let's go to the sports category. We're going to stick with the Print Daily editions here. This article is depicting the details of how a former Toledo walleye star managed to return to the United States from Russia, where he was playing professionally and during the early days of the country's conflict with Ukraine. Our judges said, what a great way to mix the news headlines of the year with a great sports angle. This gives the reader more than just a sports story. This kind of thing will keep the reader's interest. The winner in the Print Daily sports category goes to Mark Monroe from the Toledo Blade.
Wow, this is great. I really appreciate this. I just really enjoy being part of this community. I grew up here, grew up reading The Blade. People like Dave Wolford, people know guys like that, John Bergner, Dave Hackenberg. I mean, those are legends that there's a lot of guys that live up to those reputations. I love what I do. I love my colleagues. It means a lot to me to be honored on the same night as Kurt Frank. We actually started around the same time. A legend himself. Just love what I do. I appreciate combining sports and writing. And again, it's just an honor to be a part of this community. We have a lot to be proud of in Toledo. And of course, my family, you have to always thank your family, my parents who have passed away and really encouraged me to do what I wanted to do right. And that's what I love to do. And the beat that I have, the walleye, couldn't ask for a better one. Hopefully they'll win a title someday. I'll just make this short. But thank you guys, everybody, and thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, let's stay with the Print Daily category. Now we'll move on to arts and entertainment. This winning nominee talks about a group that was winning The Voice in December of 2021. The Pettisville siblings, who make up Girl Named Tom, return to play a hometown concert to reflect on their star turn. Our judges said this was a fun look at a small town group that is getting big. Our winner of the Touchstone in the Print Daily Arts and Entertainment category from the Toledo Blade, Jason Weber.
Top of the world, Mom. I just would like to say that an hour before we assembled here tonight, I got a call from my mother. My father is unfortunately ailing and is on his deathbed. But I'd like to dedicate this award to him because my dad never denied me a book, even if it was a controversial book like Tropic of Cancer or Naked Lunch. He always encouraged me to write. He always encouraged me to just follow my dreams, and I just want to say thanks. Dad, this is for you. And I just want to say thank you to my Blade colleagues. I want to thank our union president, Joe, who does a great job at leading our union. I want to say thank you to my editor, Nikki Gorney, who also won tonight. Kim Bates, Kurt Frank, thank you very much. I have only been with the Blade for a year, but it's been a phenomenal ride. I love it. I love Toledo. I love what I do. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go to print non-daily publications, and we're going to start in the hard news category this evening. This piece talked about closings and shortened hours inside Toledo's worker shortage and documented how it was affecting our community and our nation as well. Our judges said this was a great way to bring down and break down a big national story, give it a personal look, and adding in the names of who might be able to fix those problems as well. In the print non-daily hard news category, our winner from Toledo City Paper, Lila Waterfield. Sorry, we put you all the way in the back there. The idea was not to tell you ahead of time you'd win, but we would have put you a little closer. Steps are fine? Okay, good. As long as you're on board with it. Okay.
Well, I won't lie. I didn't know I was going to talk here, so I did not prepare anything. But this is super awesome to win this award. I've only written for the city paper since last January, so it hasn't been super long. But I did want to say thank you to, he's no longer with us, but Jeff McGinnis. He was my editor, and he will be missed. Yeah, just thank you to the community in general. I'm so glad I can write for it and be a part of it and get to write awesome articles like this that are important and mean something. So thank you so much.
Let's stay now in the print non-daily category. Let's move to features. This piece in the Toledo Area Parent talks about the increasing importance of parental leave in a post-pandemic world and how that was discussed. The judges said this was a wonderful piece to shine light on a COVID issue that some people simply don't realize was bubbling to the surface and to bring it into reality. The winner for your Touchstone Award for print non-daily feature is Mary Rose Kolzak from Toledo Area Parent. You don't mind the walk either then? We're all okay with walking? Okay.
I'm not Mary Rose, but I am her editor. I'm the assignment editor for Toledo Area Parent, and she did a wonderful job on this piece, and I'm accepting this on her behalf, and just want to thank her for all her hard work. Thank you.
In the print non-daily sports category, this piece involved college athletes being paid, and following the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling to allow college athletes to license their name and likeness, this story is going to be looking at the ramifications of that. Our judge said, I had no idea the impact this was going to have on sports, really learned something. So for the hard work on this piece, the Touchstone Award for print non-daily and sports goes to Nathaniel Light from Toledo City Paper. We put the whole table back there, didn't we, Candace? They all look like good sports for the walk, though. That's positive.
Wow. Thank you. Truly humbled to be a member of this community and for this award. Definitely, I suppose, want to say thank you to my mom and dad. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I love you. And also Colette and Mark Jacobs. for giving me the chance to write for them and be a part of their organization. And then I have to make a big shout out to Jeff McGinnis, our fallen editor. He was an amazing guy, an amazing editor, extremely talented individual, and I know on a personal level and for the whole community, it's a great loss. So I definitely want to say big hugs to Jeff McGinnis, and thank you all very, very much. Truly an honor. Thank you so much.
In the print non-daily category for arts and entertainment, this is kind of a cool winner because this is a couple of our folks coming together this evening. The title of this work is Toll House Resurrects Toledo's Jazz Heritage, a profile of the opening of Lucille's and the musical legacy it hopes to continue. Our judges said this is an amazing piece of Toledo that was hopefully as eye-opening to your readers as it was to me. In the print non-daily arts and entertainment category, the Touchstone winner is from Toledo City Paper, Dave Kubacki.
Thank you. Dave couldn't be here this evening, but I want to accept this for him. And again, we want to thank Jeff McGinnis for being a great editor at the City Paper. Thanks.
We're going to go now to the photojournalism videography category this evening, and from South America to the Middle East to Africa, Toledo boasts a united nation of food options. That was the piece. The Blades' Mary Bilyeu and photographer Phil Kaplan visit restaurateurs to sample their cuisine for their Cheap Eats series. Our judges said, you made this reader want to try some. I'd assume it's the same way with your readers and your viewers. From the Toledo Blade, the winner in the photojournalism videography category, Mary Bilyeu and Phil Kaplan.
Thank you. We're very proud of our Cheap Eats. It runs regularly. We've hit probably every restaurant in town. We had to raise the price a little on what's qualified, but it's a lot of fun, and thank you for this award.
In the photojournalism print category, this one is a powerful one. We've had a tragedy in this community. This year, a 10-year-old was shot and killed, and our judges, simply in talking about this piece, said, powerful, simply powerful. So in the photojournalism category for print, we award the Toledo's Touchstone Award to Rebecca Benson from the Toledo Blade. And we haven't referenced all of the pieces that are up there this evening, but I want you all to take a look at this one. And I think Kurt would probably agree is that in our business it's not always pretty, but a powerful piece there and really a powerful way to show what our community was feeling in that evening. That's somebody, a young man crying about his 10-year-old sister who was killed in violence in this city. So while our business is not always pretty, impactful. So we thank her for her work. Let's go to the television hard news category, and our winners put together really an impressive and long-form piece into sexual assault allegations involving Cedar Point employees. 27, in fact, were uncovered during this investigation. Most certainly former employees reaching out and calling what they saw was a culture of discouraging victims from coming forward. Our judges said about this piece, good journalism asks hard questions and sometimes gets uncomfortable answers. Good digging. The winners in the Touchstone journalism category for television hard news from WTOL, Brian Dougler, Kaylee Marinette, Silas Sang, and Eric Ruruka.
Well, first off, thank you very much. And thank you to Silas Sang, Eric Ruruka, Kaylee Marinette, Lauren Wepler, who all helped with this series. And of course, my wife, who's my biggest supporter, Victoria. And, you know, this was not a comfortable series because I had to confront we had to confront an institution that was very important to me while growing up. Had a lot of fond memories of Cedar Point and still do. But you know, as journalists, sometimes we have to do uncomfortable things. And I'm very proud of the fact that, well, first off, go back. I mean, one of the things we have to do, we have to seek the truth. And the truth in this case was that 27 people went to the police over the last 5 years and said that they were sexually assaulted in Cedar Point dorms. And some of these people came forward to us and said that Cedar Point officials told them, don't tell your story, don't go forward. You don't want to ruin the reputation of this institution. Well, I'm proud of the fact that we were able to give a voice to these victims, and I'm proud of the fact that we were able to hold Cedar Point and Sandusky officials accountable for what's happened over the past 5 years. I think our goal is to, you know, parents, when they think about sending their children to Cedar Point to work, we want them to know that they can work in a safe environment. So, you know, and I really think that we did do that with this story. And, you know, it's a very personal story, and it meant a lot to me. And I think as journalists, our most important role is to be a watchdog. And, you know, at WTOL, we take that job very seriously. Thank you.
We're going to stay on the television side and go to the feature category in this piece in recognition of the Juneteenth holiday, highlighting some of the experiences of Toledo's black community and the people taking it upon themselves to make sure future generations understand challenges and successes that help make Toledo what it is today. Judges said in this one, people in your area are now better equipped to understand the holiday itself and the impact of African American matters in your town. The winner of the Touchstone Journalism Award for Television Feature goes to WTOL's Tiffany Tarpley. Who's probably in bed at this point, right? Let me guess. The 2:30 a.m. wake-up call? Is that probably, Jeff, is that what the wake-up call would be, 2:30? Used to be.
Hi. Oh, it's so intimidating with all of your faces. I'm accepting this on behalf of Tiffany Tarpley, and she's someone that I can't sing the praises enough of. She cares deeply about our community and about doing what's right and making sure that we give everybody a voice. So she's not here because she's sleeping, hopefully, because she does have a 2 a.m. wake-up call. So, but she would say thank you, and she probably wouldn't say as much as I've just spoken because she's pretty quiet when she's honored like this, but she'll be excited. Thank you very much.
In the television category, we're going to go to sports now. In this piece, talking about the family and friends rallying around Clay High School's Carmen Madrid. When Carmen's father passed away, she was broken. She needed help to heal her emotional scars, which enabled her to get back on the court to play a sport that she loved. Our judges said of this piece, good stories are always about people, and here is a great example, well told. The Touchstone Award for Television Sports goes to BCSN's Justin Feldkamp.
It's a great still photo right there of me. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, Sean, I'd imagine Sean did that. That's great. Wow, thank you to everyone. Thank you to the fine folks in San Diego who voted on this. It was really an impactful story, and I really do take seriously when a person like this, a daughter who saw her father pass away of a heart attack, and then the community and the team, the basketball team that she was on at the time. And it's important for me to take the responsibility of telling someone's story. They're sharing it with us because it definitely matters to them. And what I like about sports is it brings people together. And the last 2+ years before were awful because sports was unable to bring people together. And this story really explained why teams and friendships and coaches are vitally important to the betterment of people's lives, because it really helped this young woman in a desperate time of need. So to be able to tell her story, share her story with our community was impactful for me, and from the feedback from them, impactful for them as well and their family. So thank you to all of you for all that you do for the Toledo Press Club and for this community, because it definitely does matter. Sports matters, and everything else that we represent here matters as well. So thank you very much.
We are going to wrap up the television category here in the arts and entertainment. This piece was about Colin Folk, a Toledo photographer and videographer. His love for nature, camera gear, and passion radiated through his friends who reminisce the legacy he left behind. In memory of Colin Folk, 1995 to 2021. Our judges said this is a great way to honor his memory and his work. Pieces like this will make sure his work is never gone. In the television arts and entertainment category, the Touchstone Award goes to, from Beacon, Allie Ray.
Wow. I did not personally know Colin Folk, but through his friends and family, and especially the Toledo creatives, they really showed who Colin was. And I hope that this video will help widen and spread his legacy and hopefully give some peace to this tragic event. So thank you so much.
Let's go to the radio category, and we're going to start in the show and series category. This was produced from the support of the Mid-American Center for Contemporary Music at Bowling Green State University. It was a 13-episode, 1-hour programming featuring inclusive concert material from one of the premier modern music festivals in the country, alongside in-depth profiles from some of the most important composers in the world. And our judges said pieces like this introduce people to a world they may never know, a testament to why our industry is so valuable. In the radio series and show category from WGTE, our winner this evening, Brad Cresswell.
Hi, everybody. First of all, let me say go Falcons. And second of all, I knew the BGSU table back there would enjoy that. You know, it's such an honor to be here in this room with people who are doing such important work, and to, you know, let alone be honored for our efforts. WGTE has, for a long time now, provided a voice for the arts. And we have hopefully highlighted some of the wonderful things that are going on in our community in the world of the arts. With Bowling Green State University, not only are they exposing their students to world-class composers, they have some former students who are world-class composers, and we like to draw attention to that. This particular series has been syndicated on over 165 different radio stations around the country, so it's a wonderful way to get the word out. So thank you again, and thank you so much for this award. Really very much appreciated, but I share it with all the folks at Bowling Green. Thank you.
All right, spoiler alert, Brad. Don't leave. Sorry, I gave it away. Let's go to the radio single series category. And for the work from the Toledo Symphony Lab, Time for One, which brings a pop culture aesthetic to the story world of classical music, spending an episode with violinist Nick Kendall, our judges said, I've got to look Nick up. What a wonderful introduction for him to me. The winner of the Press Club's Journalism Award in the radio single category goes to Brad again.
If there are any more awards, you can give them to me now, right? Okay. I'll take everybody's award. Well, I mean, let me just say thanks again. Thank you to the Press Club of Toledo. Thank you to their colleagues in San Diego. We have wonderful, wonderful artistic organizations right here in Toledo. I mean, I came here in 2009. I was living in New York. I was working at the #1 radio station in Manhattan. So there were a lot of people listening. I covered a lot of cultural events as well. But when I came here, I discovered that really the quality and the integration of the arts is just so powerful here. And it's not just the arts, it's also things like the Metro Parks and the zoo and the other wonderful cultural establishments that we have in our neighborhood. I think we should all be proud of that, so thank you.
Thanks for coming up, Brad. I saved a trip to the back there. Let's go to the podcast category, and the podcast that was honored this evening explores some of Shakespeare's phrases that have become to use and sometimes changed in our modern vernacular. The episode traces the backstory and the context of a phrase, word, or passage and follows it into our modern era. Our judges said this evening, it brings the past to the present, and that is a tough skill. This podcast, well done. From WGTE, the winner of the Touchstone Award, Carrie Marshall. That's not you, Brad. I checked. That's not you.
It'll be my delight to give this to Curry because he doesn't know that he was nominated for an award, so it's wonderful. I mean, ditto everything that I said before. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, I promise Brad's not going to get this award. I promise. So you just heard that last category, and we're going into the social media category next. The Press Club is evolving, and we hope to try to continue to do that in the future. This piece is called One Tank Travel, Latitude Cafe in Marblehead. This person is hitting the road once again, this time in Marblehead, where you can start your getaway with a delicious way with a breakfast at the Latitude Cafe, where he says we want to try the trash. Our judges say that they're hungry. What a fun way to learn about someplace new, and they ask, what is next? Our social media winner of the Touchstone Award tonight is Tim McMahon from Beacon.
Thought I'd cut down the awkward walk when I heard One Tank Travel, unless someone else has the same show. I did try the trash. It was fantastic. Anybody that's going to Marblehead, try it. I thought about what I would say if I was up here. I have a little sticky note on my computer where I do all my work, all my editing, and it says acceptance and gratitude. So acceptance for me is like every day when I maybe get cynical or I procrastinate or I get bored. It's like, accept what I know. What am I in control of? What am I not in control of? And focus on that. Breathe. And then get back to work. Gratitude. Gratitude can be a lot of things. I'm grateful for every opportunity that I've had. I'm grateful for bad days, too, because I feel like bad days and bad moments can really help, shape our character. I'm grateful for my family, specifically my parents and my brothers, Scott and Jeff, who've been there really my entire life. Countless cousins, aunts and uncles, friends, coworkers. I'm thankful. I host a show in Toledo called 41 Nosh, so I'm thankful for restaurant owners and chefs like Musa, who I've worked with numerous times, who've welcomed me into their kitchen to talk about things that are fun and educate people in the community about things like, food, which seems simple, but it brings the community together and it makes Northwest Ohio and Toledo great. I'm grateful for many people at Buckeye Broadband. I'll name a few. Marcus Harrison, who helped me get my job, who was there in my in-person interview and who I've been with for 5 years. Jordan Tomasi, who I've worked with numerous times. Jose Degalado, who I've worked with in 3 different jobs, I feel like. The people on this crew, John Eidemiller, Brent Sobzak, and Allie Ray specifically, who's my director. She's with me pretty much on every shoot and always makes me look good and tells me how to describe food, because she said, you got to use other words other than fantastic, which I tend to use all the time. But food is fantastic, and we enjoy it, and it's great, and I'm very grateful for this award. Thank you very much.
We'll move to our Digital Media Award this evening, and this series in particular started to talk about people talking about area crime trends, and people, when they do that, according to this piece, use generalizations like gun violence is escalating in Toledo, or homicide set a new record. In reality, though, not all of Toledo is equally under fire. What this piece did was really break down where the gun violence is happening in our community and give an analysis of the data. Our judges said numbers and stats can be tough to digest. This was a very easy way to do it and helpful to the readers. In the digital media category, our winners this evening, Caitlin Durbin and Joe Landsberger from the Toledo Blade.
Hi, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to Caitlin. She's working in Cleveland now, but I mean, it was her project. She did a fantastic job on it. She did some great reporting, and this is a great honor. I really appreciate it, so thank you all very much.
Okay, I enjoy a lot of the categories that we do, but I really enjoy honoring the students that we have, and we're going to start in the student television category this evening. This is a sampling of this student's work as an anchor, producer, and multimedia journalist. Our judges say this appears to be a rising star in your community. They're sure that we'll see much more of her great work in the future. From UT 10 News in the University of Toledo, the Touchstone winner in the student television category, Tiara Medley.
There was a moment of like, is that me at the table? But it's a really great team at University of Toledo. They really helped me a lot. And my mentor, Jason Hibbs, he's filming right now, but he taught me everything I know, so thank you.
In the student print category, every year, a survey of Bowling Green students determines the best of BG, and they turn that into a magazine distributed to all incoming freshmen in the student print category. The judges said, what a fun way to learn about the campus. Too bad they're too old to go back to school. The Touchstone winner in the student print category goes to BG Falcon Media.
No, I am not a student at Bowling Green State University. We just had a lot of people do a lot of hard work on this magazine and other publications. too many to list, and unfortunately, most of them couldn't be here because they're doing other great things for us. So if you want a copy of it, we'll autograph it for you and put it up on eBay. Thank you.
In the student digital media category, the winner was Live and Loud, featuring a local band playing a live 3-song set in a recording studio, plus interviews and a live stream on YouTube and the studio radio station Falcon Radio. Our judges said, with so much good talent out there, this is a great job taking some time to really highlight it and give listeners the full feel. In the student digital media category, the winner is Falcon Radio and the Music Industry Club.
Wow, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I really want to shout out the director that year, Emily. She's no longer a student. She did graduate. She's doing great things. And the team. I mean, obviously, you guys know, you can't do it without a team. So, yeah, thanks.
Right to the point. Thank the team. That's the best way to do it. Our final award this evening was in the Public Relations campaign category, and the piece and the campaign itself is called Think Differently Than Act. The next chapter of the disability-friendly movement began in January 2020 from the Ability Center as it announced its audacious goal to become the most disability-friendly community in the country, and that movement has sparked a lot of thoughtful conversations and initiatives from our community. Our judges said this is such a crucial part of any community, and this campaign really brings it to light and does a really nice job of getting people to act. In the Public Relations campaign from the Ability Center, Mallory Crooks is our winner.
Wow, I was anxiously awaiting that. I was like, am I here for a reason or what? I am so honored to be here. Truly, this is so humbling. I grew up in Toledo, and I grew up watching local news and just being in awe of everything that people in this room do. I'm an advocate for everything you do as a PR person. I wouldn't be able to do what I do without you. For answering my calls, my emails, showing up to my events, truly. You make what I do easy, and I really appreciate it. And this campaign has been so fun to work on. It's not only telling the story of disability, but also engaging other community members to want to talk about disability. And that's something that's so needed in the community. So I just thank you all so much. To my husband, Johnny, thank you for being the calm in all the chaos. And my parents, who have always been my biggest cheerleader. Thank you all so much.
Now, the reason we do what we do and all the fundraising that we do is for the scholarships. And the Press Club of Toledo would like to recognize the recipients of this year's Bernard F. Judy Scholarship. Every year, the Press Club awards scholarships to promising student journalists at the University of Toledo and Bowling Green State University to support the future of journalism. And tonight's Touchstone Awards is as important as the sole fundraiser to be able to provide those scholarships. This is named for Bernard Judy. We've mentioned his names a couple times this evening, a career journalist at The Blade, board member, and one of the founders of the Press Club. So let's start with BGSU this evening. Our recipient, senior, serves as the managing editor for the BG News, the school's weekly campus newspaper, a passionate editor with an eye for style, tone, grammar, and form. She also applies her meticulous skills to content for the BG Falcon Media website. Most recently, she's undertaken the challenge of crafting a style guide for student media to create more consistent and professional content across all platforms. Tonight, we award the scholarship to Naya Lambden from Bowling Green State University.
I just want to say thank you, and I can't wait to see where my journalism path takes me.
Something to be said about being concise, right? So we're going to head now up I-75 to the University of Toledo. And the rocket receiving this scholarship is Tiara Medley. who we've just met for a second time now. Come on up here. I'm going to read your bio with you. Come on, we'll do it together. That's good. Graduate of Woodward High School and a senior studying media communications at UT. Set to graduate with the goal of then joining a news station full-time as a reporter. I happen to know television stations that are always looking for good reporters. I don't hear you, Lauren. I don't hear you back there, Lauren. Are you yelling? I can't hear you. She's already been a reporter, anchor, and producer on student-produced UT10 newscasts that are weekly on YouTube and also shared on Buckeye Cable and WGTE. Tiara works at another TV station. Never heard of it. It's got an 11 at the end. Over there, she is also a videographer for UT's ESPN Live Sports broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, our scholarship recipient from the University of Toledo, Tiara Medley.
Thank you, guys. I do a lot in media. I love filming games. I love working at WTOL, and thank you for the scholarship.
So as we wrap up this evening, I want to let you know about a press club discussion that's coming up on the 27th. We'll be discussing LGBTQIA plus issues in the media and the workplace. We're going to be presenting the exact location of the event on our social media channels coming up in the next couple of days. We really want to thank our sponsors this evening for helping us get this evening going. Buckeye Broadband, Chris Peterson Consulting, Communique, WTOL 11, The Imagination Station, BCSN, BCAN, SSOE. I think I got all the letters. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Really appreciate it and hope to see you back next year. Don't forget about the cake in the back. There is cake and cookies and desserts. You college kids, you'll want to take the cookies with you.